Hi, Chris Chinnock here for the 8K Association. I'm here at CES and have been meeting with multiple media groups in the Samsung Innovation Room to basically give them an idea of where we are with the 8K ecosystem and push back on some of the negative comments that we've been hearing about the development of 8K. So let me give you a little update on the high-level summary of that briefing. Basically, I started by talking about um, the that people only talk about 8K as more pixels, and we should not just think about it as just more pixels. Yes, 8K TVs have more pixels, but they're also the top of the line of all TV brands. So they also have the best color gamuts, the best picture processing, sound processing, design, etc. So it's the best experience that you're going to get with the addition of more pixels and, of course, AI upscaling. We also talked about human vision and the various types of acuity. So people often talk about the inability to see more pixels because of Snellen acuity or simple acuity. Snellen acuity is when you look at the eye chart, right? That's simple acuity. And yes, there are benefits of having higher pixel density, and that is reflected in simple acuity. But hyperacuity, for example, allows you to see pinpoint stars in the sky that simple acuity says you can't see. Vernier acuity allows you to see slight mismatch and jaggies and slightly misaligned parallel lines, which again, simple acuity says you can't see. So images are created in the brain. So this analysis of using simple acuity that you can't see 8K is really only part of the story. It's much more complex. I also pointed to a study that was done where subjects looked at 4K and 8K images at various distances and rated it on kind of traditional factors like does it look more um, three-dimensional or higher resolution, but they also added more perceptual metrics like juiciness and freshness and sense of being there. And those are kind of the higher level order attributes that 8K can bring to some content. And I think this is the key takeaway here. Not all content is going to look better in 8K. It really needs to have those fine textures and fine details to give that greater sense of immersion, a greater sense of realism. I also talked about the availability of 8K capture. So there are a wide variety of both professional cameras out there, but there are also many other ways to capture 8K content. Smartphones, drones, security cameras. There's even 8K $100 drones out there today. So lots of ways to capture content. In terms of produced content, it's true that we don't have a lot of Hollywood-produced 8K content, although many of those films are captured on 8K cameras. But there's lots of YouTube content out there. There is new content that's being produced by independent producers every day. There are also many venues where this content is going to be needed. It's not just 8K TVs. Think of the large digital signage canvases, museums and art exhibits with walls covered with pixels, domes, planetariums. So there's a clear need for, and VR headsets, of course, is another area. There's a clear need for more pixels for many venues just beyond the TV ecosystem. I also gave a brief update on what the 8K Association is and our mission, and talked about some of the highlights of what we've been doing. In particular, we've developed this 8K TV certification program with performance and interface specifications, which we've raised the bar on every year for the last few years. We now have close to 100 TVs that are certified in the market. We've also developed consumer and professional websites, uh, uh, discover8k.com and 8kassociation.com. And through our newsletter, we have a weekly newsletter now, and we've done many webinars and white papers about this ecosystem. And through all of those efforts and our YouTube channel and SEO, et cetera, we're now ranking very high on searches around 8K on both of those websites. So bottom line, I think, is that the 8K Association websites have become industry resources for news and information about what's happening in the 8K ecosystem. So we're actually pretty proud of that development. So that is pretty much the story about what I was briefing to the media. I'll have a separate report on what I learned about 8K here at CES as well. Chris Chinnock for the 8K Association.